Welcome to Culture No Cap. I'm your host, Eric Spencer. I'm a co-host, Reverend Eric Helton in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, my guy? What's up?
What you doing? A lot of what's all that? What's going on?
I'm a Jolly Rancher, man. It tastes too good to spit out.
Oh man, what's up, man?
Man, just sitting here in my underground bunker.
Got you.
Hoping that when I come back above ground, that it was all a dream, like Biggie.
It's reality, man. It's reality. We're gonna get into it. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all the things.
Yeah, that.
Oh, the big, beautiful bill has passed. Reaction.
Yeah, Republicans caved.
They did cave.
They caved and still said they had issues with it. But Trump said, here, make a choice. Either you continue your political career or these people get Medicaid. Which one do you choose?
Well, Tom Tiller said,
They chose
I'm out.
themselves. That I'm out and I ain't running no more. Man, 12 million people gonna lose Medicaid. Are you trying to insinuate? Because you know what they say. They getting all the people that's cheating. Y'all, you trying to say 12 million people?
Yeah, 12 million
scamming the government
by 2034.
That means people are scamming the government.
No.
If you believe that, you crazy.
Yeah, and it's 3.3 trillion. The deficit will be increased by 3.3 trillion.
But you took $1 trillion away from Medicaid.
Yeah.
But you're working on getting more immigrants out. You put more money towards that. 5 million people gonna lose food stamps. Don't have abortions, but I don't know how them kids gonna eat.
Yeah. There are some positives with the small businesses. They'll get more tax breaks. Why are you looking like that, man? That is a positive.
No matter. They're not gonna have no money to spend. Ain't nobody gonna be able to have no money to spend at the small businesses. So just like, man, how about he got rid of the estate tax? There's no more death tax.
Yeah, he got rid of that.
You know how much you gotta be making for that to kick in? 14 million.
Oh yeah, the tax breaks are gonna go to the wealthy. And for married couples making 500,000, they'll get a 40. They'll get a decrease in taxes.
Well, I ain't gonna get in your pockets. Y'all making 500,000.
I said the rich. I ain't rich, but I'm not poor. I'm not yet. I'm not dependent on the government assistance that he's taking away either. But I do empathize with people that do have to rely on that. Yeah.
This is the issue that seems to be, and I'm gonna say it, with the Republican Party. Okay, so the Democrats, let's just use small numbers. If there are 5 people getting food stamps, and 4 of them are cheating, the Democrats will want to give it to all of them because that one person needs.
Yeah, there you go. I agree with that.
The Republicans, if there are 4 people that need it and one that's cheating, they don't want to give it to anybody.
Let's take it all away.
So what is more Christian?
Oh, here we go.
I'm just asking the question.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Which one is more Christian? I'm going to take from the needy and give to the greedy?
Well, it's not Christian to steal from the government either.
I'm talking about, wouldn't you rather? It's not the Democrats are saying, hey, here's steal from the government. But they're saying somebody needs, and I'd rather take a chance at taking care of this person who needs. Because at the end of the day, if we believe the Bible says, whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. If you sow to the flesh, you're going to reap from the flesh. If you sow bad stuff going to come back on you. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to all 5 of you. But I know y'all for this cheating. It's going to come back around on you.
If you believe that, or you believe that if they're cheating us government, I'm paying for it. Why are they cheating and taking away my taxes?
Then why don't you just pick out the people who are cheating?
That would be harder.
So you rather take a chance and starve people?
Oh, I'm totally against it. But I do know, and you know of people that we know people that sell food stamps. We know the 100 for 200 game.
I don't understand.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me speak for myself. I know the 100 for 200 game. I played that game before. And I mean, those people, you know how the few can ruin it for others? This is what this is. I'm not against this part. I would say this is one of the most positive parts of this bill is reducing fraud.
How do you reduce it? Take it from everybody?
You have requirements. For instance, you will have to work at least 80 hours a month for some people.
What if you can't work?
Then that's different. That's not government assistance. That's different. They're not taking away disability the way I read it. That's different, right?
Because it's hard to get disability anyway.
Well, I'm just saying the way I read it is not disability. It's for people who are getting government assistance that might not necessarily need it.
What if you can't find a job? And don't say it's not possible.
I'm not saying it's not possible. But I'm not gonna say it's not possible.
All right, let's take my brother.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know my brother got all them papers, all that.
Mm-hmm.
What if he can't find a job in his field? You think McDonald's gonna hire him?
No, because it'll be overqualified.
What if you can't find a job? I don't mind you doing like the unemployment. I guess they used to do where you got to go to certain this many places a week and try to find a job. That's different. But you think you got to work 80 hours a week? What if you can't? What if nobody will hire you?
This is 80 hours a month.
A month. I was about 80 hours a week. Shoot. That's back. You one of them immigrants that he trying to keep here.
Right. I'm not opposed. I'm not saying they're going about it the right way, but I'm for reducing fraud when it comes to government assistance. I'm for that. I'm for it.
You Republican.
I'm not a Republican. I just believe because I know. I guess because I know people. I know able bodies. It doesn't bother you. Doesn't it bother you?
It does, but I always say it'll come out in the wash.
It won't.
It will.
Well, later. But why do I have to pay for it now though? Why I gotta pay for it when you can go to work? I'm just asking, man. I know I sound like a Republican.
You sound like a MAGA. Get off their tails and work. What if they can't find a job?
It's hard to believe that. It is hard for me to believe that people can't find a job. It is.
Didn't I just explain a situation to you?
You did. You did. But there's loopholes there, even with that, with people who have all these degrees, certificates. There's still jobs out there for you as well.
Maybe not.
And maybe you even reduce the time that people are on government assistance. I'm not opposed to that. You think you should just live off the government forever?
No, you can give them a term limit.
But they don't. But Democrats,
you can give them a limit to how long you can be on it.
But there hasn't been one in the past. That's the problem.
There's not gonna be one either.
Well, there's not gonna be nothing. You're taking it all away.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be nothing.
So there's a way they could have done this to satisfy both of us by saying, let's give a time limit. Let's not take it all away. Let's just give a time limit. That's what you're saying too. I believe
that. Yeah.
But the Republicans, they go all crazy. They go all out. They took the whole thing.
After getting punked.
After getting punked. They took it.
Man. And then he's just taking it away from the illegal immigrants. They can't get Medicaid. You got to fill out paperwork to do that. Y'all just listen to anything, man.
So that's my next question. How will this affect the poor? We talked a little bit about taking the SNAP program, food assistance.
Well, I mean, rich folk ain't getting it.
Yeah.
So it has no choice but to affect the poor.
So children.
And what it might do is lead to more fraud. Because here's the thing. If I get, I don't know how much, if I get $500 a month in food stamps, and you cut me to $250, what you think I'm gonna do?
Go to the self-checkout line. Like everybody else. Probably. I'm just guessing.
I'm gonna break it down in increments, and I'm gonna sell you that $250 little by little. Try to make a little money off of it.
You're never gonna stop fraud. We know that. People gonna fraud. People who go fraud, they gonna fraud.
I mean, that's what they do.
They gonna fraud, no matter what.
This dude said, "Go to the self-checkout line." You can't go to the self-checkout line at Dollar General.
Why?
I know the ones I go to, look, they don't spend all their money getting the machines in there, and they always closed.
Oh, I'm about to say, shoot, it's mostly it should be because you can't ever find anybody. They're usually stocking or smoking.
Or not stocking. They ain't stocking.
They smoking outside. You working? Yeah. So I mean, you're right. So you're not gonna stop fraud, but this is a way for them to stop fraud is to actually take it away. Seems extreme.
It is extreme.
What
about people who really need? Sorry, one bad apple spoils the bunch. Tell that to my kids while they're hungry.
In all fairness, they've been talking about this fraud thing for years. We're talking about drug addicts getting food stamp. They've been talking about this for years, and it's always been, it's all right. We need to help everybody out. Socialist. I know you're socialist. I know.
Don't be calling me names. I just want to call me somebody who remembers that Christ said, "In as much as you did not do these to the least of these, or as much as you did these to the least of these, you did these to me." So when I mistreat the poor and downtrodden, I'm mistreating Christ. You think he's pleased with that?
Why you gotta bring him in? I'm just kidding. Playing dirty.
So what am I supposed to do? So I'm gonna mistreat them and mistreat Christ, but then I'm gonna say I love the Lord. Then I'm gonna go on Sunday and sing, "Our God is an awesome God," and then Monday say, "Ship them all away."
Nobody says ship them all away. I'm talking about this portion of the bill. We're dealing with government assistance at this point. We ain't got to the deportation yet.
Too bad you're hungry, kid. Tell your parents get a job.
That's next.
Really?
The children. Against this part, free lunch. I don't like this part. I really don't.
They didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
When you take from the parents, aren't you taking from the children?
At times. I mean, let's not act like everybody has kids. Let's not act like everybody has kids. Some people are getting government assistance who don't have kids. They're just I mean, I'm just saying.
Work that out though.
Yeah. I know. Scamming. And we know people. I'm not even gonna I can't keep saying I know people. I can't snitch.
Yeah, sound to me.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of punishing everybody, maybe you need to train the people better to be able to spot a scam before it starts.
That's hard. That's hard.
Maybe that's a job you could give some of the people you tell need to get a job.
Hey, they hire people.
Spot a scammer.
They hire scammers to spot scammers.
The country hires criminals.
Yeah, you remember
34-time felon?
No, Catch Me If You Can. Remember that one with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he was a criminal forging checks, and then they hired him.
Any black people in that?
No, so you don't watch movies without.
I probably didn't see it.
There's no black people, and you don't watch it, really.
I probably didn't see it. It didn't seem like it'd be something that's interesting to me.
Very good. Like they hired him. He was such a great scammer. They were like, "Hey man, we need your help." He was forging checks.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I mean, this country does not have a problem hiring criminals.
No, they don't. We know that. But again, let's keep going. Some more negatives, I guess. Restrictions on LGBTQ healthcare and gender affirming care.
What kind of bull? So they're not people.
They do not know what it is. You can't just. They're not going to pay for you to have this, get this medicine so you can become a man or become a woman. They're not going to support that with Medicaid or Medicare.
Okay.
Is that fair? Is that something that you're like, all right, I understand.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Tell me the truth.
It ain't something I'm going to fall on my sword about.
Brother, you letting MAGA down, Eric. Yeah.
Actually sound like I'm supporting MAGA with that.
Yeah, actually, I just couldn't find it. I don't have a.
But like I'll tell you where I do agree with them. I 100% agree with them. Not giving it to minors.
That's part of it. That's part of
it. I agree with that. Like I told you, when I was in second grade, I wanted to be a fire engine.
So weird.
I'm different. When I got older, I didn't want to be a fire engine no more.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah, so I can definitely understand that with youth.
So that's part of this bill.
And I can almost see Medicaid not paying for that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you got your own private insurance,
but you're gonna be able to afford that. That's the whole thing. It's expensive. Transition.
How you know?
I know people. You gotta take hormones, and you gotta do a lot, man.
You got something to tell me, dog?
Not me. But it's known that this is not a cheap.
It's not a cheap.
It's going on years trying to get gender.
I think it should be difficult.
So you're okay with this part of the bill, mostly. Now this does tie into abortions as well. This goes to abortions. They're not going to do abortions. They're not going to pay for abortions. Medicaid.
Does Medicaid pay for abortions?
They do.
I didn't know that.
Well, some states, I believe. I'll have to confirm that. But I do know that I know the insurance will pay for abortions.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I know
that's what I heard. Yeah, so they're trying to cut out that. We know they're trying to cut out abortions because of the whole conservative agenda, and we know.
Yeah, you know why? Because, gosh, it wasn't an issue when it was just black people having abortions.
Ooh, you want to go there?
It became an issue when white women was having abortions. It looked like they weren't going to be the majority after a while. Then it became an issue.
Well, they hide behind the fact that Democrats want black people to have abortions. That's one of their little talking points.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're like, they don't want y'all to live.
They want women to have the right to choose.
Uh-huh.
I don't agree with abortion. But
you can't though. You can't because of your religious beliefs though.
Right. However, it's just strange for me that a bunch of grumpy old men can tell a woman what she can do with a body. Don't make sense to me.
So you're
like that. They kept that woman alive to have a baby and then let her die
in Georgia. That was crazy.
But it was also in that exact same state. I think it was in that exact same state. There was somebody who knew a senator or someone who was dealing with the same thing, and they let her have an abortion.
In Georgia.
I'm pretty sure it was in Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said these laws, they're going to get a lot of people killed. Like they're going to die from these procedures. And
so now we're going to raise the baby. They ain't got no mama.
Yeah.
That's criminal. That's a good start to life with no mama.
Yeah. Yeah. So another part of this bill, let's keep breaking it down. We talked about the work requirements for Medicaid recipients, and you're not opposed to that. That surprises me. They shouldn't have to work even a little bit.
What you think of it?
I'm asking. They shouldn't have to work.
I mean, what do you think I am? I said, what if you can't find a job? I said, what if you can't find a job? Like I said, make them do like the unemployment office where you gotta look for a certain amount of jobs over each week.
And you think there's a time limit.
But don't do like the unemployment office used to do. I've gotten unemployment before and went through the phone book and said this, and nobody ever checked. Get you
like a scam.
If you go, there you go. If you're gonna do this stuff, hire you some people that really follow up on it.
Oh, they're gonna follow up on it now. Like, they don't have to, but and maybe that's the reason. Maybe they don't want to hire people to have to check behind. Maybe it's costing more money to actually catch people doing fraud.
And think about all these companies who say we're hiring that really ain't hiring.
Who does that?
Because COVID proved you can work with a skeleton crew.
Or from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. That hurt. COVID hurt in a lot of ways people don't talk about. That's one of them. Like, do we really need all these people? Do we really need them to come into this office?
Yeah, we getting this stuff. Well, even we getting this stuff done. We had 10 employees. Now we got 6. And we getting the same stuff done with these 6. Sorry, other 4.
Sorry for you. But yeah. But he passed it. That's what it is. And we're going to see what happens from here. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. And some people
the rich folk love it.
Yeah, they're gonna get some crazy tax breaks. And that's what it was set up for. His 2017 tax cut was running out.
So for us, what's gonna happen for us is our stuff won't change. Which means our taxes won't go up because of the Trump things. But that's it.
Yeah.
But them,
we're gonna be fine. And that comes to my next question. Is this a F around and find out moment for some of these people that are on this?
What's a fofo moment?
Oh, I forgot that. F around, find out.
F around and find out.
F around and find out. Is this an F around and find out moment?
It is.
Is it? What? Explain.
For the people who ain't billionaires that support Trump, and this stuff starts hitting people close to them, they gonna find out.
Yeah. And for those that wanted this immigration thing, they wanted to put all this money. They ain't saying about money. They wanted to fight immigration.
And He taking money from services to help people, putting it into immigration. This darn alligator Alcatraz that done flooded already.
Stupid.
He's now talking about doing one with sharks or putting them out in the forest with the grizzlies.
I don't.
This guy.
But I'm saying, like, that was part of his campaign, was to fight immigration, secure the border, and people fell for that. So my thing is, like, what? That's what you wanted. Like, what are you upset about? You just gonna have to deal with it.
Changed it, didn't you?
What? That's what it said the whole time. F around and find out.
Hey, you know what? I was listening to something the other day.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, compared to that, he's deported less people than Obama and Biden.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's true. What's your Republican talking point?
No, huh? They voted because he was going to get them all out, and he's done less than them. Mm-hmm. And Biden was the worst president ever.
Yeah.
History will tell.
And we've talked about that on a few times. Yeah.
History will tell. And Dementia Don, he don't sound real coherent when he answers questions either.
Yeah.
Are they gonna hide his mental capacity for the next 3.5 years?
It makes him more human. You know how they spin it.
Yeah, you know, if Biden would have said some of the things that Trump has said here lately, man, they would be losing their minds.
I'm just saying, man. It just don't. It's different. But see, they stand up for Trump, where the Democrats they would jump on Biden and talk about how bad he's declining.
Yeah, because Trump is a bully who's bullied the Republican Party.
They got to march lock and step. They have to.
But okay, but let's be honest. Here's the thing: it's not because Trump is the all-powerful Oz. It's because Trump got support. So all them crazy things and all those racist things, misogynistic things, and all that stuff that Trump says and does, I'm sure that many in the Republican Party want to kick back at it. But they're afraid they won't get elected because he has support with that. That don't speak to Trump. That speaks to this country.
It speaks to, right, the integrity of people as well. Like, people care about themselves more than they care about this country.
Some people hate others more than they love themselves too.
That too. Yeah, where is the integrity? Like, we saw it with Tom Tillis, but where else? Like, those people that really opposed this bill, why did they let this?
Yeah, they opposed it until he said, I'm a primary you. Oh, well, the bill ain't that bad when you look at it. If you look at it upside down, it ain't that bad.
When they should have been like, all right, I'm going to stand for what I believe in. They would have got more respect.
You would have gained respect. Saying, but they wasn't worried about that. They
Nah,
we don't want the big bad Trump. Man.
Yeah, that's where we are with it, man. So, well, what else happened here? Oh yeah, Diddy not guilty, not guilty, and guilty on count 3, not guilty on count 4, sex trafficking. Guilty on the 5th count, the transportation to engage in prostitution. React.
Boy, what money? Well, like I said, I told you, I think the prosecution fumbled the bag anyway. You've got Capricorn. You got Capricorn King telling about being kidnapped by the guy. They don't even question her about the defense don't even, when they're cross-examining her, they don't even bring that up because it's true. You got Kid Cudi car getting burnt up and a bad boy vehicle in the neighborhood but they pulled away kidnapping and arson. You can't prove anything without that. I feel like they fumbled it.
Yeah, they totally fumbled it. And even like we said, racketeering. Did you ever believe that Bad Boy Records was a
no, because he was the only defendant.
Yeah, you can't have a conspiracy, a racketeering conspiracy with one person.
They overreached.
They overreached and lost.
Now, the one we knew, the transportation prostitution. I mean, we knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised, which says something about what they thought. The sex trafficking for Cassie was not guilty.
Are you surprised at that?
I was surprised.
Why were you surprised at that?
Because you got the video of him beating her and her saying he's dragging her back into a freak off. That tells me that between the text and stuff, the back and forth, they didn't believe you.
Yeah. Well, that text messaging really helped him, I think, because it was like, kept going back to him. They kept engaging with him after the abuse, alleged abuse.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say that part because I've never been, unlike you, and I've never checked into it. I've never been a woman, and I've never been abused. I've never been in an abusive relationship, so I it's hard for me to say that they may be too fearful to leave. And because it's easy for you and me as grown men saying, get out. It may have been hard for her to leave. It's just, I don't know the age breakdown of the jury. If they skewed older like us, not that we old, like we ain't 75 and nothing.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more at ease you are with some of that stuff.
I agree. But didn't she eventually leave? But didn't she leave? She left.
Yeah, but they say he made it seem like she left out of jealousy, not because of abuse.
Whatever it takes. I mean,
yeah.
Get out.
But I think that made her, despite the video, despite her crying, I think in their eyes, it made her a little less credible.
Because of the tapes. The tapes that they thought were going to help them actually hurt them with this jury because they were a bunch of men, mostly men.
Yeah, 8 men.
8 men looking at sex tapes. And they're like, dang, she wanted this.
And one of the alternate jurors, because they had to watch it too, he said it ain't what you think. It wasn't like they was watching bang, 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 bang. He said it was a bunch of rubbing baby oil on each other and stuff like that.
So it wasn't even anything that was going to help the prosecution at all. Not really.
No.
So why?
That's why the defense kept showing them too.
Because they knew it wasn't.
Man, I'm tired of watching porn first thing in the morning when I come to court. But no, he was like, it wasn't what you would expect.
There you go. That's where they messed up.
Yeah, I think they fumbled it. They might have had a 93% conviction rate. They messed this one up.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Everybody can't afford lawyers like Diddy did either.
Well, let's talk about that because that 97%, which I was reading somewhere, where that's really most of those are settlements. Like people settle out, they plea or plea bond.
And he didn't plea. He would not plea.
There's a reason he didn't plea because he knew he had a case. His lawyers were smart enough to know, like, you know what? They don't have anything. It's just you.
And they ain't even present a defense, really.
No, it's just you. So you don't have any co-conspirators, nobody to talk against you. Talk about these bodyguards and all that. They didn't testify against you.
I can't understand why they didn't call them or call KK.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know why, but they didn't. It was really flawed, man. They just didn't prove their case. They failed.
I believe I could have got him some jail time. some real jail time. I could have convicted him.
You could have done it, huh?
I think I'm gonna study tonight and see if I can
try.
I can take the ball tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Might as well. Because they really fumbled. They fumbled this, and I don't know whether he'll go to prison or not.
He's gonna go to prison. I believe that, because the reason I believe that, because this judge didn't give him bail.
But that was because of Cassie's letter she mailed to the judge, or she sent to the judge, saying that she felt threatened or felt that her safety was in jeopardy.
And I would say she probably should.
Do you really think her safety was in jeopardy?
Not at the particular moment. Too soon.
I don't know.
She gonna fall asleep and wake up dead like Kim Porter.
I don't know, man. I could be wrong. I could be just speculating here, but I really think once this is over, we won't see Diddy in the public eye again. He'll go away.
I used to think that. We'll see.
He got on his knees right after the verdict.
I'm telling you, if we see him come out and his hair looks like that, his hair is black, he's back in the game.
You think he's gonna party just because he dyed his hair back?
He's back in the game. I mean, this is a grandpa.
I don't think so. Is he? He's not.
He got it. Them kids is old. Them boys.
I don't know if they got kids. He might be. He might be.
Do them boys act like they ain't reckless?
Oh, they look like some. yeah. They like they up next.
It's some little babies running around there. They might not claim them.
They like they up next is what I'm saying. They might be out here doing stuff.
If he come out and he dye his hair,
it's party on, huh? Diddy party coming up.
Back at it.
So who were the winners and losers in this case altogether? Who you think lost?
I think
won first.
I think the biggest winner was Cassie, and the biggest loser was Cassie.
And why was she a winner?
Got $30 million.
I wasn't in this case.
She made 10, I think, during this case.
Okay.
So, but yeah, she probably $30 million is a lot of money.
It is. Who lost? She said she lost too. She was the loser in this because he didn't get all the charges.
He didn't get that. I think Jane is a loser. Because I'm Diddy, I'm taking that money away from her.
Yeah. Dang.
The whole prosecution is a loser.
Yeah.
Diddy's a loser too. Because now we know not only is he abusive, he's a drug addict. Yeah, he's a loser too.
I'm gonna say the winner in this.
And he got gray hair.
Go figure. I'm gonna say the winner.
Like Woody.
He did.
He looked like Woody from Sanford and Son.
Yeah, I hope he don't come out like that. But I'd say the winner in this case was Diddy. I mean, he won. He won the case. He didn't get on the stand. He might get a little bit of jail time, but that first count would have put him in there
for life.
For life. So you dodge a life sentence.
He dodged a life sentence. But I just feel like I'm not winning if I'm going to prison.
You winning. You facing those 5 counts and you only get 2, and you might get, let's say he gets 5 years. I don't even think he'll get that.
You do 5 years.
I don't think he'll get that. He's walking.
You do 2 years.
I'm not doing 1. I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying, I think that he will walk out of this. Time served. He back on the street.
If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be this judge.
Okay.
This judge has proven he ain't give him no bail. He going to give him something. Even if it's a year.
That bail situation was a cop-out for it was a sympathy thing for Cassie.
it was a perfect time for him to say, okay, you can go out till you can be out until we sentence you.
But you can't
they
have
had a 4th of July party.
Right, but you can't have an abused person saying that they feel like their life is threatened. Send you a letter and you let them out. You let this guy out. You couldn't do it.
You don't think that's ever happened before?
And I think, but this is such a high profile case. There's no way they was gonna let him out with that, with Cassie involved. If she hadn't said anything, he would have been out. He would have been out. Well, you don't think if that letter had to come through, you think he would have been?
I don't know. I was shocked that he didn't get out. I was glad, but I was shocked that he didn't get out.
He was getting out until Cassie was like, nah. I was up on that stand pregnant. She did a thing on that stand, but they put too much pressure and too much on her testimony. Just too much. Like they kind of blew the, I don't say blew. They kind of
and also though, here was the thing: she was pregnant. It probably would have moved smoother if you were able to have her later.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But you couldn't.
Timing is everything. Yep. Timing is everything. Yeah, it's everything. Yeah, she was early. They put her in too soon. People forgot about it. I mean, people forgot.
Yeah, I just that trafficking her is, to me, was insane that they didn't.
Yeah,
get him on that.
Yeah, the loser in this, I would say, would be of course, the prosecutors, because they failed. I mean, they really failed. Some people think they failed women. I think they failed women. I think they failed Cassie. Honestly,
I think they failed the justice system. They had a layup.
All they needed was really somebody else, a few more witnesses.
Get Christina Coram, his right hand woman, who you mentioned her name every day in court. Why is she not testifying? Why didn't you offer her immunity and get her to testify? Get those bodyguards that you mention all the time.
Where's Gene Deal? Gene Deal was all on the.
Ain't nobody want to fool with Gene Deal because they know he iffy.
I'm just saying, man. Gene Deal all up on Art of Dialogue talking.
Why couldn't anybody find Farnsworth?
He was somewhere with his umbrella dodging.
Because you notice you haven't heard anything from him doing all this.
No, and maybe we don't. I don't know how, if people know that you can get immunity. I don't know if maybe he was involved and got immunity. I don't know. Maybe he.
Well, he ain't getting immunity if he ain't open his mouth.
If he ain't open his mouth, you're right. So you don't get immunity unless you right. So they dropped the ball, man.
They dropped it.
They dropped the ball. There's no way.
They dropped it and they overreached.
That might be more of the case. Maybe they really overreached. They probably could have got him with at least 40.
But they had arson and kidnapping. I think you only had to prove 2 of them.
Arson would have been the one.
And you got him kidnapping.
But he's free. Well, he ain't free yet.
Yeah, no, I bet you he don't think he's free.
He ain't free yet. But you think, I said, will he go? You said yes.
I think so.
I say no.
Even if he gets 2 years and he's already been in there a year and he got to do some months. I
do remember you saying that they proved racketeering. I think I remember you saying.
Yeah, because I was looking at arson and kidnapping.
But when they took that off the table.
Know they were going to take it off the table.
They took it off the table. Yeah.
Yeah, then now they improve it.
Yeah.
And bribery. They had bribery too. They bribed that boy at the hotel. So they had all that stuff. I could have got him some time.
What about the celebrity reaction? Did you see Ray J? I'll give it to him, man. When people were quiet, Ray J was not quiet. He was for Diddy the whole time.
He probably need to be quiet though.
And what about this right here? Let me play this real quick.
Etiquette that is happening inside of a courtroom. No, instead, I kid you not, people are pouring baby oil on one another outside this courthouse. Baby oil having a very big play in the freak-offs we heard about. You have people saying it's not Rico, it's Frico.
People were pouring baby oil on each other, twerking outside the courtroom.
That's why they call us what they call us.
This is Frico. Not Frico.
That's why. If you
you
ever wonder why they call us what they call us, stuff like that.
I mean, they would celebrate, man. Instead of using champagne, they were using baby oil.
You making a mockery of what these women went through because they didn't respect her opinion. They didn't respect her. It's not Rico, it's Frico. Because what they're saying is she wanted to do it. You know, like R. Kelly, if somebody gonna pee on me, I'm gonna move. The girl didn't move.
Dave Chappelle. Yeah. So you don't hold these women accountable at all. You don't think they were so into him, into this relationship, into money, into power. You don't think that they had anything to do with this?
I think that's how it started. But I think they really, I'm gonna talk about Cassie. This whole Jane thing, she already got a baby by another rapper. We know who that is now.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie was young, impressionable. I think she fell in love with him. And he said, she's young and impressionable. I can do this. I can treat her any old way. And I think it started out her doing all that stuff out of love. Then she started doing it out of fear.
So you think, so it started out of love?
I think so.
And you think he took advantage of her love?
Yeah.
And her inexperience in relationships, probably.
Yeah.
And his power over her and his money.
Yeah, he felt she was moldable, and that's what he did.
Which makes him like many celebrity men. Like many celebrity men out there, probably in his situation. Unfortunately.
Probably, but I'd like to not think that.
Yeah, I'd like to not think that.
I'd like to look for the good in people.
Yeah, but there are a demographic of this is really.
Suge said the whole industry was like that. He just got caught.
Yeah, and maybe not even the industry. I think there's a group of men, of heterosexual men who don't really like women. And I'm gonna play this real quick.
Yeah, they're gay.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. And
we react to that.
Who that is?
I forgot the brother's name. He was on the Cam's podcast. I think his name. But do you think he was? You think he had a point when he says there are a lot of men? I don't say a lot of men. There are men out there who really don't like women outside of sex. They don't value women.
I mean, I'd say that's true. I'd say that's true.
So there's a hate there. I'm not a strong dislike for women. Strong dislike.
Don't like and hate are two different things.
Yeah, that's why strong dislike. He said they don't like women. Really, they're not gay, but they just don't like women. They like what women can do.
There's a reason. See, what you got to find out is why. There's a reason for that.
It could be abuse. It could be their mom issue. It
could be mommy issues.
Mommy issues. Could be a lot of things.
They got dogged out by one woman, and every other woman suffers for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's the women's fault, though.
I don't think so either. But I feel like there's people. I've encountered people that like that.
Man, you would just be everywhere. You need to come down in the bunker with me. You be dealing with too many people.
Man. I do.
You be dealing with too many people.
I do, and I do, because it's not like they hate women, but they just don't. They look at women as an object, just a sexual being, something that they can take advantage of. Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all been there.
Yeah, to a certain degree with immaturity. But when you have our age, still feeling like that, then that's a problem.
Age doesn't bring about maturity.
No, it doesn't. But it does bring about experience. The more you experience different people and women you meet, you can value them more.
If you don't mature, you can't.
If you don't mature, you can't. True. But at 40 some years old, if you still feeling like this,
man, I'm gonna do like I know dudes 60.
They still feel like this.
That's the same way. Yeah. So,
well, yeah, and
I don't say they're just not emotionally mature.
And I'm not sure. Just by looking at Diddy,
he's not.
He may be this person.
Yeah, he's not mature. He's not.
He might not really like women like that.
You know, they say he don't like them anyway.
But, you know,
but just that stuff was never brought up in this trial. They brought out everything they could about him, and if they didn't bring that up, I'm not believing it. Even though one of them said she thought he was bi-curious.
I really think they can erase the gay rumors for him. They can erase that. That would have been brought up.
And the pedophile.
No underage girls.
You think if they prosecuting him in criminal charges, they wouldn't come up with some underage girls?
That would have been the one. Matter of fact.
Yeah, you can scratch all that stuff away.
And you know what? When you said that's funny, you said that. I thought about that earlier. I was like, you know what? That was part of why this didn't go well for the prosecutors, because they were all of age. They were all grown women. If these were any girl, let's say they were 18, he would have been out of here.
What are you talking about, teenager? What you mean?
I'm sorry.
18,
they were teenagers. 19-year-old friends.
Yeah. So he was different than R. Kelly. We did come to the agreement, I think, last week that R. Kelly was worse.
He was a freak, and a lot of this was some just freaky stuff. The abuse was the abuse, but the freaky stuff was just freaky stuff, man.
Yeah, he was just a bad boyfriend.
He was a terrible person.
Yeah, not even boyfriend. He's a terrible person.
But can this terrible person move on from this as far as his career?
We just said that R. Kelly was worse. Boy, people just jonesing for R. Kelly to do something.
Well,
so can Diddy come back? I gotta change my mind. Can Diddy come back? The only thing that can really stop him is he was falling off before.
But the only thing that can stop him because he's not really that talented. Like
R. Kelly. That's just So that's the thing. He's not R. Kelly.
He's not R. Kelly. He's not that talented.
He ain't gonna find another Biggie. He tried that with Shine.
So how that went. Yeah. So he's not gonna. And again, another thing, since you said Shine, why didn't that get brought up? Was that?
Yeah, I guess they couldn't bring up prior bad acts. I don't know.
It was too far back, maybe. But I don't know. So
I mean, if he can get his people, if he can get Mary J and Jodeci them to do a Bad Boy tour.
He'll be back, huh?
He'll be back. Yeah. I went from at the beginning of this saying he couldn't come back to remembering how forgiving we are.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
All he got to do is put out a real hit.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see him. I changed my stance. I don't think we'll see him.
We switched.
I think he'll be gone. After getting out, if he leaves, he walks, he's gone. We won't see this guy.
As long as he got gray hair when he come within 3 days of being out, I'll agree with you.
If he got gray hair, he's gonna go away.
Yeah, if he dyed that hair black, they'll tell you he back at it.
Oh man. Well, I wanted to talk about this last week, man. I want to say this topic: the legacy of Dr. Bill Cosby. When you think of Bill Cosby and his legacy, what do you think?
I think of Cliff Huxtable. I think of Fat Albert.
Hey. Yeah. Same. But
that ain't what the masses think of.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, I mean, Bill Cosby.
Not trying to be. Bill was probably doing what everybody else was doing.
Dang. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, let's be real. It was the 60s, 70s, 80s.
He was doing with it. Even, we can remember way back when, way back when, wanting the girl to get drunk.
Right.
Because they easier then.
And you saying that he did the same thing on a different level.
Yeah.
He used drugs.
So I just believe that back then everybody was doing it. Don't make it right. Does not make it right. Let me make that clear.
That sounds wild.
But I'm gonna be like, if I'm Bill, I'm like, look, if you're gonna get me, you need to get Earl and Ray and Jonathan and get all of these guys.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Same thing. When I think of Bill Cosby, I think of the Cosby Show. I think of A Different World. I think of Fat Albert. All the good things.
Yeah.
But again, we're a certain age. I mean, we my late 40s, you in your early 50s. We come from a different time.
Go ahead and say what you said when we was talking about it.
Yeah, so I brought up the fact that Bill Cosby, I want to say in the early 2000s, he brought up black parents and how they need to parent their kids and how their kids wear their pants sagging and they're disrespectful. And I said to you,
I said that's what ruined him with the people, because he was just a grumpy old man. And then you said,
I said, that's us now.
And I said, oh.
I'm glad you replied. We're him. We're just older and more mature. We were a part of the generation that he was speaking of at that time.
Yeah.
We weren't sagging. I don't think I was sagging, but
yeah.
But we were into hip hop. We were into that culture, and we didn't want anybody to say anything bad about it. But he did. He spoke up.
We're Bill. Now we're Bill Cosby.
We're Bill. Yeah.
So 60. When did he get busted? When did they get it?
He's 87 now. What? Why you laugh? He's 87.
So it's only been in the last 15, 20 years, right?
Yeah. So he was about 60 something.
So let's say 60. Maybe that was in the 60s. He did. So is there anything that you've done in the last 30 years ago, that could come back on you?
I hope not. And if it was something I wouldn't mention on this show.
No, I'm not asking you what it was. There anything immoral when it comes to taking advantage of people?
Mm-hmm.
30 years ago that you did.
Okay.
How would you feel getting busted for that now? Because I'm different now.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but again, I'm not in the public eye like that. This man was
tried to buy NBC, and they was like, "No, we gonna get you."
He was, and he was selling a wholesome image. Let's not take away that he was selling pudding pops and family values to America every Thursday night, and then we look back and you're slipping pills in women's drinks and scraping.
Hey, but even during that time, we don't have proof he was doing it when he was selling family values.
I would say he was selling family values his whole career. I mean, you can even go back if you want to go back to Fat Albert.
Fat Albert wasn't out in the 60s.
It was the 70s. But he was doing this allegedly throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, up through the 80s, even while he was on the show.
He did it with Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that.
Well, I mean, alleged. This is all. I mean, he did not get convicted of this stuff. Like he walked. He's out. He's free.
So he ain't do it.
But again, when this happens, though, your reputation, your legacy, is tarnished. Is tarnished forever.
He's Cliff Huxtable to me. He's hey.
Yeah, he is. But again, we take these people like Bill Cosby. We saw with Michael Jackson till he died. To some, he was always a pedophile, a child molester. That's who he was.
Yeah, and they know Michael like monkeys. He ain't like little boys.
I don't know what he like. I don't think he was doing that. I really don't. The more I hear, the more I'm like, you know what? I just think he settled because he didn't want all those allegations. He didn't want to.
That's the thing. You get scared because is it a money grab?
Mm-hmm.
You and it's sad that there are real victims, but we automatically are like, are they trying to grab money? Not now that I think about it, that I said it, it's probably not sad because we're supposed to believe in innocent until proven guilty.
Right. But we've seen in these cases where it's one victim, then it's 10, then it's 20, then it keeps going.
Well, one person has to have the courage to say it. We can go with that.
You gonna go with that, or you want to go with, hey, there's a lawsuit open. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get this money while we can.
I think there's a lot of that as well.
We saw that recently with the with the Diddy thing. They put a hotline out you could call.
Yeah, and now all these men talking about he did it to him.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I'll come back and say I'm sorry. But they done had a whole case about him, and they tried to shame that man to death. They didn't bring up no gayness.
Who?
I'm talking about that. And the prosecution tried to shame that man.
Oh,
if there'd have been some gay stuff, they'd have called him on it.
Yeah, he ain't do that. It wasn't none of that. Yeah, but get back to him, Bill Cosby. It kind of ties into the celebrity status. Like, I feel like I want to talk about this because he's 87 years old. He's up there. I want to talk about it because I feel like
he got a lot of summers left.
Yeah. We need to establish how we really feel about this man who gave us appreciation for family, for art, for HBCUs. Like, he brought all this to the culture, but I don't want it to be overshadowed by allegations that he wasn't convicted of.
I believe that when he passes, the Black community will embrace him for all the things he accomplished. There will be others who will crucify him because of what he did.
Let's talk about
I really think we'll embrace him.
let's talk about that because we've already seen this happen. We saw this happen with Kobe Bryant. His case was brought up. We saw it recently with O.J. Simpson. He passed, and it was like a big BET shouldn't celebrate O.J. He's a killer. Fair. Is that a bad example? But I'm just saying that was one of the situations where like we still wanted to honor O.J. for his accomplishments while he was.
We ain't want to honor him. We just said he died.
Nope, that's not what happened.
I thought they just listed his name among the people who died. Some
did, not everybody. A lot of people brought up his football career.
No, you should just let him be dead.
So you can't. So you're contradicting yourself. You're saying that we can think about Bill.
No, I'm not.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying there are levels. First off, what did OJ really contribute to the community?
We're not talking about the community. We're talking about to the culture, football culture for one.
What did he to the black culture? What did he? What?
Well,
he could run football.
Well, at the time, he was one of the best. He was one of the best running backs. Then he crossed over to be a commentator. That was a big deal. He
was never black. He was OJ.
We didn't know he wasn't black until he wasn't black. we didn't know it until we heard him say it, or allegedly.
Did we ever see him trying to reach out and do? Did you ever see him making a difference that Bill Cosby made? Two different folks. I would celebrate Bill. And them women lived.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is that people want to talk about your legacy. You're always better when you die.
Sometimes you're worse, though.
Are you? Nobody's gonna get up there at your funeral and say, you know what, man, this dude was a jerk. He was the biggest.
What do you think? Oh. Let's say. I mean,
don't use me as an example.
No.
Please.
Well, speaking of, let me tell you. Your daddy. I was sitting there with us. Me and Rev Mitten was sitting there, and your daddy was up there talking. You know, he was at the end. And he was talking about how this lady, he almost said, was obedient to her husband. I was like, oh my God, he gonna get in trouble.
But it nothing. We ain't gonna do it. Ain't nothing in the Bible though, isn't it?
It tells you to be obedient to one another.
Yeah. So that part of it. She's obedient to me. I'm obedient to her.
I looked over and I said, he about to get in trouble.
And see, that's the climate we live in, though. That's the climate we live in. You can't say anything, which I'm not opposed to that, but you can't say anything that would be deemed as chauvinistic or women.
Yeah, he was giving her props for the way she lived.
But you can't say being obedient.
But he didn't use the word obedient, but I could see where it was going.
Ooh, isn't that a shame though? You can't do it. Man.
See, I forgot what I was talking about.
What we were saying is, I was saying that you said OJ didn't do anything for the community. They were totally different.
They're totally different. Now, how I got on your daddy from that, I don't know. I'll be doing that sometime.
Probably cancel culture. Because
see, that's why I think, Bill, he really, like you said, he had that image. I mean, how much attention did he give to HBCUs by making up one Hillman?
Making up one and contributing to them. Philanthropy. He donated to HBCU.
Yeah. So it's gonna be totally different than OJ. OJ killed 2 people and ran a football.
But we honored him at the BET Awards.
We did not. Well, see, that's why BET Awards we know ain't owned by black people. Now, we should have had his face flash across the screen, said OJ lived and he died. Boom. Yeah, don't be.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair because OJ was different. OJ, he tried to distance himself from the community a long time ago.
Yeah. And even with Kobe, by the time Kobe passed, even though he passed way too soon, only trifling people were bringing up Colorado.
But you can't ignore Colorado, right? You can't acknowledge what OJ did and forget about what Kobe did.
Even that girl lived. But we don't know that Kobe. We don't know that it wasn't consensual. Did Kobe go to prison?
That's true. He did not go to prison for this.
See, I can say no matter what I believe, Mike Tyson is a rapist.
But he's not. He didn't go. He didn't. Well, he did.
He did go to prison.
He did go to prison for it. But he says
he didn't do it. But he's a convicted rapist.
He said he didn't do it. But we
convicted rapist.
Okay, let's play that then. Let's say if something happened, God forbid, to Mike Tyson, how would he be remembered in the community?
People would forget about it because he entertained them.
Exactly. So they wouldn't bring up Desiree Washington. They would not bring her up ever in the latest.
Oh, somebody would, but it wouldn't drag him like that. You know why? Because he didn't kill nobody.
Is that that's the litmus test? If you don't die,
he didn't kill nobody. I mean, I ain't trying to minimize what Bill may have allegedly done, but he ain't killed nobody.
He did, man. And I feel like he should be celebrated, even though some women would say, and this was probably the beginning of the Me Too movement. This was the beginning of it right here with Bill Cosby. We saw it.
Yeah. I think he did too much for our community. And now after you made me realize we are him.
Oh yeah.
I definitely want his legacy to be good.
And he could see the future. He predicted that these young people would be out of control.
And they are every bit out of control.
And they're out of control. He predicted this years ago, early 2000s. He knew what was going. He knew that single parent who was not the way. He knew that the hip hop culture was going to destroy the community bit by bit. It has to a certain degree.
Yeah, it has.
So yeah. Yeah, we trashed him. I was one of the ones. We were part of the culture. We definitely wasn't messing with Bill Cosby. We was like,
then we got older and we became Bill Cosby.
We became Bill Cosby. We are Bill Cosby.
Can I have some of that money?
And the money part of it, like, what do you think would be more important to him? His legacy or the money?
His legacy, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you lived your whole life the quote unquote right way, and you try to give more than you take and do the right things, and then somebody says something about you that you said you didn't do, it can take away everything you worked hard for.
It's gonna bother you. It is.
It's gonna hurt you. It's gonna devastate you. It's gonna devastate. It's like, man. And you could tell that took a toll on him. That trial, that whole situation.
Yeah, well, he was an old man going through the trial anyway.
Old man going in prison.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, I salute you, Bill. I'm gonna give you your flowers before you check out.
Yeah, give Bill his flowers, man. But people are like, why y'all talking about Bill Cosby, all this Diddy? That's what we do on here.
We talked about the diddler earlier.
Yeah, enough of him. Enough of him.
Because there will be more when he gets jail time.
Oh,
we're
gonna see. He not. Don't be disappointed, man. When he Diddy bop out the courtroom.
I'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed.
He gonna be wearing all white, probably a cape.
As long as he got his white hair.
It's gonna be black hair.
I'm telling you. That black hair come, he can be acting like he's young again.
Black hair, black hair and a cape. Watch. Oh man, you got anything you want to get off your chest before we get out of here, man?
Donald Trump don't like black people.
I knew it. How did I know? How did I know?
In case people have forgotten, he don't like us.
I don't know. Maybe he don't like poor people either.
No, I don't like them either.
Maybe we should add that to the list. He hate the poor.
He don't like them either. He don't like anybody who ain't a white male.
Yeah. About so they poor too.
But they
poor white men.
Hey, like you said, it's poor white men that will ride out being a poor white man over being us right now.
Being black.
We ain't poor.
Let's see. You could be poor or black. What you do?
I'm gonna ride out this white thing to the end, buddy.
Yeah, man, I don't want to deal with y'all. Oh man, we're gonna get into one more thing. I want to ask you about how you feel about Chris Paul. He's going on his last into the last season. It's gonna be his farewell tour next season. Do you think that's a good idea for him to retire now?
Oh yeah, he's old. He's been. I mean, how much more money can he make?
Mm-hmm.
He's had a long, great career. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the only thing he's missing is a ring.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, man. I wish he could have gotten a ring. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe next year. But,
hey, it's gonna be rough. Them young boys in OKC. I mean, they were a team that was built and they young.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Paul.
Get hurt.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Paul, Winston-Salem.
So here's what it could be. Say my guy
LeBron
says this will be my last year. Chris Paul will be overshadowed.
I don't think LeBron will leave next year.
I don't think LeBron. I was about to say I don't think that he would announce it, but he every bit would announce it.
He probably would. He would have to.
Yeah, he wants that attention.
Yeah, they just do the farewell together, man. They're pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close. Like one of them's children godfather.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul's son is. I think one of them is the godfather's son. Yes. So yeah. Shout out to him, man. Hey, he might as well retire. Nah, not if you want to ring.
No, we got Luka. Don't send him to the Lakers.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, good pod, man. As always, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, man. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all the things.
Yeah, be careful.
Make sure you comment and direct it towards him too.
Be careful. Some days I have time. Some days I don't.
Sometimes you do. That's another episode of Culture No Cap. Peace.
Peace.